Hello, I'm Todd Phillips, the editor of Canadian Auto Dealer. We're here today with Jason Campbell, the general manager of the Canadian International AutoShow. Jason, thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here, Todd.
Well, Jason, opening day is only a few days away. We've been waiting a long time for this, and we thought we would touch base just to see how things are going. And really, right off the top, why don't you tell us about the participation of OEMs at this year's show?
Well, thanks, Todd. Yeah, we're excited. We've got a great show ahead of us. Last year was a great return to form. We had a packed house. It was really, I think we set 5 attendance day records. So all the brands that were there last year, we're very happy. They're all coming back again this year. And we've got 12 new brands, I'd say 12 mainstream brands joining us this year that weren't at the show last year. And we're very excited to have that kind of participation. Obviously, last year when we came into the show, when we were planning last year's show, it was middle of the summer. There was uncertainty about what the winter would bring. It came through wonderfully. It came through in terms of it was safe. It was a lot of people hungry to return and see the cars. There had been a big buildup of interest. This year, we've had a much longer runway. We've been able to work at this with certainty that the show will be taking place. And we've seen a great take-up from some of our manufacturers. I think some of the biggest ones that are returning, Ford Motor Company, we're very happy to have back with Lincoln. They're stepping in with a very large display, the same kind of size program they had pre-pandemic. Stellantis is coming back with the Camp Jeep project, which was a very big hit of the show. And General Motors always comes in with their A game. And they've again brought all 4 of their brands and an incredible array of products, but also joined by some of the smaller makes as well. And we've got some EV makers that have coming in that haven't been at the show for a number of years. In total, 12 new brands coming in, but all in all, there's 44 car brands at the show this year, and that's up from 28 at the show in 2023. So it's exciting to be able to showcase more product over more space because we've engaged back with the entirety of the building. We had a slightly reduced footprint last year, but with the extra demand and extra space requirements from the brands that are participating, we've needed to fill out the entire north and south buildings, and looking forward to a great show.
Well, I probably shouldn't admit this. We have to be fair to all dealers, but as a Jeep owner, I really did enjoy the Jeep experience last year, so I'm looking forward to trying that again this year. One of the things that I want to hit on is what dealers can do to support the show. I know there's a lot of interest in trying to, in fact, you did some survey research to try to connect the visit to the show to the buying experience and the customer buying journey. But what can individual dealers do, building on some of that research findings to help turn this into a show, but also to generate sales in their markets?
Well, this is really a place for people to make their decisions. I mean, they obviously learn a lot about new vehicles and narrow down their search online, but it's physically getting bums in seats that makes a difference and makes people choose one brand or another. It's one of the things that, over 80% of the consumers that came to last year's show said that the show was either helpful or very helpful in making their buying decision. We've got over 67% of the people coming to the show are planning to buy a car in the next 12 to 24 months. And as you know, it can take a while to make your decision. So this is a really important influencer time for people at the show. And for us, dealers have been engaging with us even more so than last year. We're up about 40% in terms of our dealer ticket purchases. We've offered very discounted opportunities for dealers. I mean, you can get tickets for a large number of your consumers for as little as $12 a ticket versus the $25, which is the general asking price for the show. And we've seen a big marked improvement in that, probably because there's more brands participating. But also VIP Night's also been a very popular feature. We're up over 20% in our VIP Night sales. We've got Bare Naked Ladies playing for the VIP Night headliner act this year. That's proved very popular. And I'm expecting a really great kickoff to both Media Day and VIP Night, which starts. But it's an exciting time for dealers, brands. It's basically Christmas in February.
And certainly for car enthusiasts, of which we are as well. One of the things I know, obviously, there's a lot of interest in EVs. It's not all about EVs at the show, but there is some dedicated test tracks, some other ways that consumers can experience that. I know last year, the survey research found a lot of consumers, that was really their first touch point with an EV was at the show and certainly in the test track. So tell us about some of the EV related stuff that's going on this year.
Well, last year we introduced for the first time this indoor driving electric vehicle test track, and it was really to try and educate consumers about the process and the experience of driving an EV for the first time. Over 80% of the people that took part in our EV test track had never driven an EV before. and over 70% of them said it was giving them a more positive impression of the vehicle and would lead them to potentially consider it as one of their options going forward as a new vehicle. It was very popular. We had 9 brands participating last year in the indoor track. This year we've got 12 taking part, with over 15 different electric vehicles for people to test drive and sample at the show. We've got a new streamlined process for actually applying for and registering for a test drive. You do it on site, but then you're given a registration code and you come back with 15 minutes to go before your test drive. That hopefully will eliminate a lot of the waiting time, because we did have long waits for people to test drive the different EVs. We had a number of people that would come and do 2 or 3 tests while they're making their decision last year, and we want to try and help them move through that process quicker and give them more shopping experience time while they're on the show floor. But in addition to that, we also have an additional outdoor test drives. We last did outdoor test drives in 2020 show. We're bringing that back again this year. We've got 12 cars which are available for people to test drive on a small loop in the outside of the convention center. And we did about 1,500 test drives in 2020. I'm expecting we'll do close to 10,000 test drives in EV products this year at the show. So that really is a very big experience. We also have an Electric City showcase where people can learn more, be educated about the EV buying experience. We have talks every day about the processes and things to learn and understand about the electrification of the industry. Almost all manufacturers have a focus to some degree or other on electric vehicles on the show floor. And of the roughly 800 vehicles that you'll find at the show, we're probably looking at about 30% of them which will be solely EV, and so there's a big wide selection of others. Of course, we've got exotics, which is something that is a very popular feature in the show. We've got probably our best selection of exotic cars this year at the show than we've ever had. We've got Grand Touring Automobiles, one of North America's premium retailers of super luxury vehicles. They're celebrating 50 years of Grand Touring Automobiles this year at the show, and they've brought an unrivaled display. FAF is bringing as well their A game as well. They've got a great selection of McLaren cars, their race cars, as well as some Paganis and some modified electric vehicles that they do. And we've got a very beautiful display from Ferrari of Ontario. They're doing a Ferrari Classique presentation with 7 vehicles there, and that's the first time we've had a display from Ferrari of Ontario for about 15 years. So it's going to be a really great showcase. And the traditional displays which we have from Autostrada, showcasing Canadian collectors. Cobble Beach will be showcasing some amazing, beautiful vehicles from the last 100 years in a tribute to performance. Barrett Jackson will be in our Auto Exotica location, and other smaller brands are also showcasing downstairs in our Auto Exotica 100 showcase. So that tallies up to the 44 car brands that people can see at the show. It's going to be a great experience and a great show this year.
Going to ask you about the high-profile cars. Certainly a lot of auto eye candy going on, but there's also some celebrities coming this year, flying across the pond. Maybe tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, of course. Well, I think one of the early precursors to the show going public is the CADA Summit. That's always a very much anticipated show. We've got obviously a huge number of dealers that descend on Toronto. I think there's probably going to be close to 300 different dealers there for that presentation. And one of the celebrities that's headlining that is former Top Gear presenter, Grand Tour presenter Richard Hammond. That's generated a lot of excitement. He's not only participating in the CADA Summit, but he's joining in our Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame presentation, where he's also going to be there to help congratulate Dario Franchitti, who's being inducted as our international inductee and is going to be there on the night Valentine's Day to receive his induction award. James Hinchcliffe will also be alongside former IndyCar driver. And so those will add a little bit of glamour and glitz to Media Day, as well as to our pre-day functions. I think that the excitement of some of the specialty cars that we're bringing in, Porsche has brought in a specialty Gran Turismo concept car that's coming in from Europe. We've got a great feature from Lego with the beautiful kids Lego cars that always generates a lot of attention. Hot Wheels has the Hot Wheels Barbie car. But some of the specialty vehicles, I mean, the headline vehicle for our show that's going to kick off Media Day is the Rimac Navara. That's a car which is 0 to 60 in 1.8 seconds. The CEO of Rimac is coming in for the opening day presentation as well, Mate, and we're looking forward to see him and see some of the other amazing vehicles. Autostrada is bringing in a replica Batmobile the tumbler, which is going to attract a lot of eyeballs. And we've got concepts up and down the show. I think that one of the more beautiful and anticipated concepts will be Infinity. They're bringing in a concept car that is the world's first. Porsche is also bringing in a world's first public display vehicle. So there'll be a lot of things you can see and do at the show that you just can't do in the showroom, and that's why we invite all dealers to come down and take part in the excitement.
Well, you mentioned excitement. It's also a time to appeal to the current car enthusiasts, but also to target sort of that next generation. So to that end, I know students from the Automotive Business School of Canada will be descending upon the auto show, as well Accelerate Auto, which is a not-for-profit really trying to attract more Black talent, minority talent to the auto industry. Are also sending a delegation of students from GTA area high schools. So tell us about why it's important for yourself on the show to reach out to that next generation, to get them kind of engaged with this industry at an early age.
Well, we've done this introduction with folks from Automotive Business School. I think this is about the 6th or 7th show that we've done that. They bring in both their captains for their auto show, which they build out in the summertime, as well as some of the kids that are working on that project. I think there's about 40 that will be coming down middle of the show. We give a presentation, tell them about the trials and tribulations and the background stories of how we put the show together, the challenges that are faced every year. They go through a similar kind of experience in their build process. The auto show is about sales and getting people excited about buying in the industry, but many brands are also participating because it is about exciting the youth and exciting the industry, and we all need fresh talent. Automotive Business School is a great asset for the entire industry, for dealers to draw people from manufacturers to pull new attendees and new workers from, and it's just a very great privilege to be able to showcase the industry in all its background story to these future industry leaders. And as you mentioned, the Accelerate Auto, we had them join our show last year for the first time. It was very rewarding to see these kids come in and learn about an industry they perhaps thought they wouldn't have an opportunity to participate in. That was so popular last year. We're expanding. I think we're expecting about 100 kids from Accelerate Auto to join us on the day and explore the future that they could potentially imagine for themselves. And as everybody is trying to diversify their workforce, it's a great way to try and bring in a new audience with fresh perspectives to the industry, and happy to play a small part in encouraging that along.
Jason, look, I really appreciate that. Such a great comprehensive overview. There's lots on the go, no matter if you're younger, older, you like exotics, you want to, find the latest model that you're going to acquire, EVs, test tracks, so much to do and see. And certainly dealers, it's important for them to support the local show, to bring their customers out, to bring their own team members out, to network and really, keep the momentum in behind the show. Obviously, it lost a bit of wind in its sails, as most shows did during the pandemic when it couldn't happen, but it's really encouraging to hear it, back in full force again. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's great to be back. I think we're going to have a really big blitz come Media Day on Thursday, and then the action Thursday night will lead into, I'm sure, will be a very strong opening weekend for us again.
All right, Jason. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time out today.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.